Alright, Dead Rising, working on the achievement, the PP Collector, AA Gamer for Life. Okay, so throughout the whole mall map, outside area, whatever, there's 100 of these PP things to take a picture of. And doing this achievement to get this unlocked is basically its own time through the game. So you're going to start a new game and you're going to play the cases but not really do any of the survivors. As you see, like level 48 or whatever, which means I've done some legwork in the game. I have not really done, getting all the survivors out. That'll be coming up. So to get all the PPs, you got to play the cases because you got to get into areas that only the cases will unlock, especially at the end. We'll get into that with the third video of the PP Collector. And this particular picture would be one I would do during the regular walkthrough as well, because later in the game you got to prove that this vent is opening. But anyway, the little PP things out there, and I don't think it's critical that you get 100% of the picture. You see you get 1,000 PP there. There have been a few where I just couldn't get the 100% lock on it, so I just took 90 or 93 or whatever it was to get the picture done. So as you can see, the first two, we were in the security room, the board, and then went out to the vent, and then we're going to head out to Leisure Park here. And we got to get like every side of this clock tower's got one.
Fantastic.
And again, you got to play the cases as you're progressing through this. So at some point you'll see that the cases have changed, and I've gone off and helped Brad because we need the entrance plaza to be open and that kind of thing. So I mean, it's 100 of them, which means we're gonna be a little busy here, and the game is kind of geared like that. When I first start out a fresh game of Dead Rising 1, Dead Rising 2, whatever, we always do the crushing of the zombies. Dead Rising 1, we had to get 53 plus thousand kills in. That unlocks the Mega Buster, which is pretty much my main weapon for the game. Dealing with any of the psychopaths, the Mega Buster will pretty much get it done. So that'll get me, I go from like level 3 up to 30 just doing that, and that's like its own time through the game right there. So but if you don't see the little PP thing down at the bottom, little percentage, then you're not getting the picture that you need. So if that little thing's not coming up, then you know that you're not getting it. And the majority of all the pictures you'll see, I will be getting 100% of it, but there'll be a few where I only get in the 90s or whatever. So again, you got to play the cases in order to get to some of these. Middle of part 2, day 2 or whatever, we need to get abducted by the dudes with the raincoats. They got 2 PP pictures in there that we got to get, and the only way to do that is to get abducted by the raincoat dudes. So, and that'll be coming up in the next video, but it seems like your little center bullseye mark there, reticle, if not so much putting it the little white PP marker in the center. Alright, so from the entrance into the underground tunnels, we made it back into Paradise Mall, and right there before the entrance plaza entry there, you got the little clock here with the dove on the top. And
Fantastic.
like I was mentioning, sometimes just don't get 100% of the snap in, so the hell with it. I'll take 986 or whatever it was. Alright, so from there we're going to head over to the toy store. Uh, Dead Rising, 2006 game, 10 years old. Graphics by today's standards, still pretty nice, man. But the mechanics
Fantastic.
of the game are extremely rough, and it definitely take a little bit of a learning curve to get it down. And I constantly do that little football tackle, dodge roll, whatever they call it, because basically it's just pushing the front, your left stick forward, and I do it more times than I like to because I'm not really trying to do it. It just happens. Anyway, so our next one is right in front of the CD store here. The the aiming is super sensitive, and even though the Mega Buster is one of the most powerful weapons in the game, the aiming thing it's a little rough. It's just rough. I mean, the walkthroughs that I read, doing infinite mode and whatever, you know, the guys will pretty much tell you that you're gonna want to throw your Xbox controller through the window because this game will piss you off. There's just a lot of frustrating things, especially later when you get into dealing with the survivors. I mean, I get it's a video game and it's supposed to have a lot of, you know, what the hell things going on. I get that, especially with the psychopaths and all that kind of stuff, but the mechanics of the game can be real rough. You're trying to save people, but I don't know. We'll get into that when we do the survivors. We get them all out, but it's just rough, man. The mechanics, trying to deal with getting them through hordes of zombies and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be getting into that in the future videos, but chipping away at all the PP collecting. Like I mentioned, you got to play the cases, so get as many of the PP collecting as you can get done, and then go help Brad. Do not worry about any of the survivors. Just let them expire or whatever. We don't have time to be dealing with them. The game's kind of geared that way as far as like doing this kind of stuff. You know, you're doing the clothing or the food, whatever the situation is, like the PP collector. You cannot really be dealing with the survivors, so just do the cases. It's critical with this one that we do the cases as we progress through them, because like I mentioned, there's a lot of them in areas that we have to do, and you know, the entry plaza needs to be open, so we got to go help Brad and the old guy and all that kind of stuff. So, but as far as like dealing with Ken and all that, we don't really have to mess with that. That's really only related to getting all the survivors. But anybody that was playing this for the first time,
Fantastic.
you're starting a new game, you're at level 1, 2, whatever, follow the videos for getting the zombie genocide in. Go crush people for the first time through the game. You don't want to be trying to play this game without any of the good upgrades that you need. Plus, your speed is so slow. So it definitely helps to do that and then get the Mega Buster unlocked, because the game is so much easier with that little treat in your arsenal. So So I believe after doing some things, I got like Frank the Pimp done, escorting 8 females back to the safe house, safe room, security room. I think I went off and because I was playing the cases, I did the overtime mode just to get it done, and then I did the infinite mode. Um, Whatever it takes to get the mini gun or the mini
Fantastic.
chainsaws. There's 3 books that will prolong the life of that, and those are like my main thing in the game. But before you can get that, if you do the infinite mode, you'll have the laser sword, which is a big thing. But it kind of where it's good, it's not that great. As soon as I get the chainsaws, I drop the laser sword. It's unfortunately it's just not the tool for the job up in here. When you're traversing with as many survivors as you got here, the mini chainsaws are pretty much the way to go. So, as awesome as the laser sword is, it pretty much just gets me to the point where I get the chainsaws and then I drop it because nothing's going to clear the path better than those chainsaws, and that's the way it is. So.
Fantastic.
Alright, so in Dead Rising 2, obviously Chuck was a whole other entity compared to Frank, and none of this taking picture stuff for Chuck. Chuck had his own things to be dealing with, and mostly the combination of the weapons was the thing. There was quite a few combos that we had to make in that game.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, so there's another one that I'm not getting 100 for, but like I say, you do your best, and there's no question this thing can.
Fantastic.
It's just I don't know, the aiming is just so. I don't know, you call it sensitive, kind of squarish. You're just trying to feather it a little bit, and the premise of the game was pretty cool, but the mechanics for back then, it was rough. I remember when it first came out, there was many of cursing going on. But the way it went down was me and my buddy Demented Priest, we played Dead Rising 2, and I went back and bought this game. So we did 2 and then this one, and doing 2 and getting all the survivors and doing all the cases was not a problem. We did it in Dead Rising 1 as well, got all the survivors and got the cases done. Towards the end, it kind of got a little tight between getting the 3 survivors and the last few survivors while getting the end cases. Alright, so outside the movie plaza is 3 markers out here, left and right side, and then on the top center.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, that takes care of the center one.
Fantastic.
Okay, so head inside this wall here. Each 4 of these posters have got a marker on it.
Attention shoppers! Although we appreciate your continued patronage, we are sorry to announce that the mall will be closing shortly. Thank you for choosing to visit us here at the Willamette Parkview Mall, and we hope to see you again soon.
Fantastic. 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 Fantastic.
Oh, maybe it's me. I just see if you put your center
Fantastic.
right on that marker, it should pop 100, but it definitely doesn't work out like that.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we're getting to the end of this video. We're gonna go ahead and break it, get to the next one. There we go.
Fantastic.
Alright, so that takes care of the first set of the PP markers, and we're gonna go ahead and break it and get back to the next set.